Hi everybody, my name is Kenzie Kozar and I'm going to be doing my Book Circle Facilitation on YouTube for you guys because I won't be present in class. But I'm really excited to share the book that I got to work on with my group. And originally I was only planning on, we were planning on chunking it up by chapters. So what I will be analyzing is the first chapter of the book and just kind of also talking about the overall, my overall opinion of the book and how I perceive the book and how I think it has helped me as a teacher or how I think that it has helped me in life in general, not even in a teaching aspect. So I'm really excited to share with you guys the book that I'm doing. So I'm going to get into it now. So the book that I have been reading is by Carol, I think it's Dweck. She's a PhD. She's pretty up there. And it's Mindset, the New Psychology for Success or of Success. This book basically talks about how we can reach our potential and how all of us have different ways in doing so. I really loved this book too because it analyzes like the psychological aspect. I think a lot of people forget when teaching that there's a lot of psychology involved with teaching, and that's why I didn't really think I would love this book at first, but I actually really enjoyed it and it's helped make a lot more things make sense for me. So this book is also really good. It says right here, it's really good for parenting, business, school, and relationships. And I cannot stress this enough because I found myself when reading this book that I could relate a lot of things back to like my social life, my family life, my just like my work environment, a lot of different things. Like it didn't just pertain to teaching, and I thought that was really interesting. So again, this is called Mindset because the author of the book kind of had this epiphany when she was talking about how it just says on the back of this, every endeavor that we experience in life, whether it be career related, school related, or like a relationship or in a business, it's our ability to see how well we can do or how poorly we can do is what really influences how we carry out that task or how we carry out what we're trying to do in life. So again, this is called Mindset because the author of the book kind of had this epiphany when she was talking about how it just says on the back of this, every endeavor that we experience in life, whether it be career related, school related, or like a relationship or in a business, it's our ability to see how well we can do or how poorly we can do is what really influences how we carry out that task or how we carry out what we're trying to do in life. So the first thing that I wanted to touch on was what she started off with in the book, and it was how people differ. Like, we know that people differ financially, in their social class, on age, appearance, but we don't think about the whole picture in this. We have different backgrounds, and different backgrounds can lead people to do different things than others, can lead people to have fewer or more opportunities than somebody else. It could also kind of diminish someone's obstacles if they're not faced with harsh backgrounds, but it all depends on your upbringing and how you grow up is basically what she's trying to say is how our big outlook is. It's really linked to backgrounds. Another thing that she touched on was different life circumstances. Now, if somebody is handed here with an impairment or a disability, they're obviously going to have to work probably 5 times harder than someone that is not faced with those different kinds of challenges and life circumstances. They also might be thinking about stuff in school that some other kids might not be thinking about. She also added a lot about how some kids have to worry about how food is getting on the table, while other kids have a pantry full of snacks. You never really think about how little things like that can really affect a student's whole upbringing and their whole school career. Another thing that she talked about was different challenges. And I know like the past three that I've been talking about probably seem like they could all go together, but she actually chunked them up and separated them within the book. And I actually kind of liked that because you can see how different things, they kind of seem like they go together, but in reality, a little bit of a tweak in anybody's life does make a huge difference. So challenges that she had talked about that I thought were really interesting was like having one parent in the home versus having two, or having a close family unit versus having not a great family unit and not such good flow in a family. They talked about stuff like how some people might have to get, or like how some students might have to get jobs sooner than a different student because maybe they have to help a certain parent pay the bills or something. It's all in perspective here. The last thing I want to touch on just within how people differ is different learning techniques. Now, especially we should know as teachers going into this field that everybody learns differently. But I think when we're faced with the challenge that we really want a student to learn something and maybe they're just not picking up on it and not getting it, is probably because that's not the way that they learn the best. Some people learn verbally, some people learn better visually. It all depends on how that student learns, but we can't really pick what technique works the best for us. We can't really explain why visual works better than auditory when we're learning. It's just kind of something that we all get used to, and we all are like, oh, like this helps me better than this. And we can't really explain that, but she kind of says that in the book, and she doesn't really elaborate on it. She just kind of talks about how everyone has a different technique of learning, and I think it's kind of a mystery how we develop those techniques and how we use those techniques in our learning. So the two mindsets that are discussed in this book are the fixed mindset and the view you adopt for yourself mindset. So for our first mindset, the fixed mindset, this is basically kind of the overachiever out of the two. You want to prove yourself. You really want to show that you can put in the effort to get a good grade. You want to show that you can put in the effort and execute work properly, and you kind of just want to show your best potential whenever you can, which I think this is definitely the one that I fit into probably the best out of either of them, because I don't like to slack off, and that's kind of what the fixed mindset is talking about. They have a need to like try harder and do better. Sorry, I'm like looking off my notes, but they really, like, when they want to pull up a grade, they're not just going to sit there and kind of let someone do it for them. Like, they're going to put in the work so that they can be where they want to be in like an academic standing or just like a lifestyle standing. So with the second mindset, this is the one I don't really feel like I really fit into, but maybe sometimes I do, because I feel like a lot of us can sway either mindset probably a few times in our life, but the view that you adopt for yourself. So this mindset, they aren't really coping with the failure that they've received, and they kind of like are looking for different excuses as to why they got that grade. They might look to blame a teacher, another peer, a group. They might say the material was too hard, but obviously if everyone in the classroom is getting the same types of things, but this one person is failing, it's probably because it's like an internal second mindset thing. They aren't really looking into trying new things. They're not really looking to adapt, but they're kind of throwing the blame on other people. And I feel like this really does full circle come around to exactly how I said that the book can relate to parenting, school, businesses, and relationships, because if someone is constantly looking for excuses to get themselves out of things, it's really not healthy, and it's really not helping anyone get anywhere. It's just holding people at a standstill and making it impossible for things to actually get worked out. So again, going into the next part of the chapter was what's new. She basically is asking what is like different things that we can do to kind of sway these different kinds of mindsets to maybe do kind of what we want them to do. But she basically talks about the risk of the persistence of a student. In the first mindset, I'm looking at my notes. She talks about how the first mindset is nothing ventured is nothing lost. Basically, if we don't put any effort into anything, then we're not really getting anything out of it. So when we're in the first mindset, we want to put that effort in, because even if we only get a C, at least we still tried our best. Now with the second mindset, their quote is, at first you don't succeed, you probably don't have the ability. Which, if we look at it, that's kind of what giving up is. And I don't think that anybody has successfully done something their very first try and got it amazingly perfect, and that's what molded their entire career. People are going to make mistakes in their early years, in their middle-aged years, and in their elderly years. It's just a fact of life that if you just don't keep trying, then you have no room to even prosper and succeed. So that's basically what she's saying there. So for this little part of my video, I'm actually going to be reading straight out of the book because there was quite a lot of information. I didn't really know how to put it into my own words with it to make sense, but we basically are talking about growing our mindset. So they ask you in this book what kind of mindset you think you have. And like I said, I think I am the fixed mindset, the first mindset. But these are some of the questions that you guys can analyze that will help you to decide what kind of mindset you think you are. So the first one is, your intelligence is something very basic about you that you can't change very much. I think that's really, for me, I don't think that's true, because I don't think we're born geniuses. Like, I think we really have to put in the work to get where we want to be. The second one is, you can learn new things, but you can't really change how intelligent you are. Now, I don't think this is true either, because who's really the measure of intelligence? An IQ test, an ACT, SAT score? Not exactly. I think that by putting different types of information in our heads and having a broad expansion of all types of information is what truly makes us intelligent. The next one is, no matter how much intelligence you have, you can always change it quite a bit. Like I said, I agree with this one 100%. No matter how smart you think you are, there's always something else to learn. You can always learn from someone that's maybe not as smart as you, and you can also learn from someone that might be way smarter than you. And the next one is, you can always substantially change how intelligent you are. Again, like I said, I totally agree with this. It all is what you want to take in, is really how successful you're going to be. So overall in this book, I think that it really tied into exactly what the title was talking about, how we can relate this to multiple different things, not just school and not just art teaching and how we teach as teachers and students in general, but I think it really fits into just like lifestyle and how we can affect what we get out of certain things and how well we do based on our mindset. I really enjoyed this book, and I'm really sad that I didn't get to do the full book circle facilitation with my group, because I thought that was going to be so fun to get to do with tons of different people, but obviously with different kinds of circumstances, I'm definitely going to be a first fixed mindset type of person and just get the best out of it that I can. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the Zooms in the future. Bye.